Alright, what is up guys? How is it going everyone? It's Logan here with another video, but today's topic is not a challenge, but rather I'm going to be discussing what remains of Elysium in the Dying Light 2 released game. Now this video is not focused around cut content, but stuff you can find in the full game, and I will also not include the Bloody Ties DLC, as the hall seems to be the only link to Elysium. I will split this up into 5 categories, and I want to mention that I will be giving my thoughts and theories. So if you do not agree with any of these theories, let me know yours in the comments, and of course, there will be spoilers, so be advised, and without further ado, let's begin. The first thing I wanted to discuss is the NPC dialogues. Now, I don't know how many mentions there are of Elysium, but I found at least 2 NPC interactions mentioning this. Now, I don't doubt that there are many more, but I missed out on these, and these are the only ones that I know of.
Seals.
The seals are good.
Then why is it leaking?
Someone didn't screw it down tight enough.
We can wait to refurbish it, but it'll only get worse in the meantime.
We can't afford that.
But we have to. Will you come with me to Elysium?
That's pretty risky.
But it's our only choice for now. Maybe we can find something there.
In other news, despite the continued effort of several relief teams, the passage to the Elysium neighborhood remains blocked. PK engineering and excavation experts estimate that it may take several months before access be restored to this part of the city. That is all for today. Citizens.
Now, as I will make clear, these dialogues don't make much sense in the context of the game, because the city is doused in chemicals. The location that they are supposedly talking about going to is doused in chemicals. Next up, I wanted to discuss the metro. Not just any metro, but the one found near the Dynamo car factory. Now, when I first thought of this video, I thought it was a cut and unused metro station, until I found out it is actually used during a mission you get from Juan Raynor, called Spy Game, where Jack Mad kept half of Juan's UV lamps for other reasons that he wasn't sharing. Now, I know that that explanation is bad, but I'm not trying to spoil too much of the quest, as I myself only found out about it when making this video. But the reason it's still on here is for one reason. Now, this design for the actual station is pretty unique in its own right, which makes sense if it was made for this mission. But the reason I mention it in this video is because of this. Now, it's weird that the sign shows a fast travel icon, as you are never able to fast travel to or from here, which makes me think it had a different use that wasn't in the full game. So let's theorize here, because from what we can see from the metro maps, we can see that the line that runs at this location is the same one that goes to Elysium. Now, I know that sounds bad shit, because I don't have enough proof. But think about it, when Dying Light 2 was being developed, there must have been a way to go to Elysium. Kind of like how you can go to the Central Loop, but only like halfway through the game. So maybe it was the same for Elysium. But I think we should move on from this, because we've been yapping long enough. The next thing I wanted to bring up was the maps we see. I will start by showing you a blank map that could be found in many places around Villador, where we can see the streets of not only Elysium, but also the forest area next to the unused citadel. Now, this specific one is the PK Metro station in Old Villador, and shows PK outposts and bases. And as we can see, there doesn't seem to be any presence around Elysium or the forest area. Now, moving forward to a different map, we can see some info. This can be found in Frank's room, in the Fisheye Canteen, and actively shows the unused areas within Elysium, that being Bastion, Old Embers, Opera, and Harrington. But we can also see the big arch monument being displayed, although the forest area doesn't display as much as a parking zone. But last but not least, there is a map in Lawan's room that is a modified version of the previous one. It displays a bit of a problem. See, she has targets from her hit list marked on this map, but the problem is, in the main game, the area where Elysium and the forest is supposed to be is doused in chemicals, and is not habitable or accessible, so it begs the question, how Lawan could go to these places and take out people in areas where there isn't anybody, because as is obvious, these go way into the chemicals, where no humans could survive. If it's just a leftover asset from an older build, or maybe from an earlier version of the story that could have contained these areas. In the original script, I had no other maps to show, but a few days ago when I was streaming, I found this while doing a Pan of Destiny run. It's another map. It crosses out Elysium. I don't know why it does, but who knows, because survivors indicate that there still is an Elysium, but this map shows that it's crossed out, so is it really there, or are people just crazy? A little bit more interestingly, actually, is that the forest area shows to be untouched, although you can't really find anything on the map indicating that there's anything there. This one is a little bit weird and unexplainable. It could be an oversight by the devs, or maybe just a leftover asset, and scenes from an older build of the game. But you might be wondering, bro, did you finally lose your mind? Well, maybe, but this is something different that might mean something. I will bring up two scenes and show you what is wrong with them. First off, in the scene where Veronica tells Aiden about the missile strikes, we can for just a second see where they would land, which in itself is fine, but we can see that most parts of the unplayable map have been marked as well. So the question is, what is the problem? Well, after this quest, we can see the clouds outside the map indicating an explosion. But the problem comes in the fact that these marked locations were already covered in a THV gen mod before these missiles launched, which could cause a continuity error. But let's talk about that second problem. During the final cutscene where Aiden walks off, we can see a city right behind the wall. The only problem is, no matter which one of the two districts you visit in the game, it will never be that close to the wall. At all. But the only problem is, Elysium is the only one that is that close to the wall, but you can't usually see it that well because it's really far away. And now we finish off with what we actually get to see of the place in the game. So let's start off with the forest area. So as is usual, 90% of what we see is just chemicals and low texture buildings. But for some unknown reason, there is one area of the forest that is a playable area. And it's just a renegade camp, but right next to it is the container with the Cow Crane Easter egg inside, as well as the citadel being visible. And now we check out Elysium. And it's kind of sad to see how little details there are. Now for an area that's not even in the game, it's pretty cool that it exists at all. But all you can really see is obviously the mentioned arch, a church or cathedral, another church or cathedral, and I'm sorry guys that I can't tell the difference. That is my bad. But the last thing we see is a water tower. Not much different from the ones we see in Conquer all over Villador. Now, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts and theories about what I discussed, and let me know if you like this kind of video on my channel. It's goodbye for now, and I will see you another time. Bye.